Prime Minister Trudeau has declared Canada's recommitment to the United Nations. I am here to declare that the United Nations enthusiastically welcomes this commitment. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Let me go through a list of 10 different problems with the UN, and this is from UN Watch, a group based in Geneva that monitors the UN activity, particularly on human rights. You can go to the Twitter account of Hillel Neuer if you want to follow along. He's a Canadian, graduate of McGill University, who's concerned that Ban Ki-moon, after he visits Ottawa, is going to Montreal to visit his alumni McGill. He wants the students at the school to ask questions. So he tweeted out a list of problems with the UN. Let me read through the list. Why did the UN recently elect Saudi Arabia to head a Human Rights Council panel? That's right. Saudi Arabia is not only on the Human Rights Council and tried to be the leader of that council last year. They failed at that, but they're now heading up a panel that appoints the top human rights bodies, or appoints people to the top human rights bodies around the United Nations. Saudi Arabia, a country that recently sentenced a blogger to 1,000 lashes, a country that is under protest all the time for the way it treats women, the way it treats minorities, the way it treats anybody that runs afoul of their laws. His next question that he thinks students at McGill should be asking: why on February 25th will UN re-elect Syria to leadership post on decolonization committee? That's right. Syria, currently in the middle of a civil war, is going to lead a decolonization committee. Why is Syria even being given the leadership of any committee? Why are they still held up? The world is trying to get rid of Bashar al-Assad as a leader. He is a man who stands accused, whether you like him or not, he stands accused of using chemical weapons on his own people. Doesn't matter if the other side did it as well. This guy shouldn't be leading up any committee, but he's already the leader. He's going to be reelected. Third question. After Paris terror attacks, why did UN expert blame the West? Well, we know the answer for that. To the internationalists of the world, the West is always to blame. But this actually happened. A 1,500-word essay explaining why the Paris terrorist attacks were the fault of France and the West. Question 4. Why was Algerian rep who tried to muzzle UN rights experts elected a UN rights expert? Algeria as a UN human rights expert? That's puzzling to me. 5. If UN Charter promises equality, why does UN General Assembly condemn Israel 20 times and rest of the world 3 times? The United Nations under Ban Ki-moon has remained a place that singles out Israel for critique more than any country in the world. In fact, more than the rest of the world combined. That's a problem. That's what Canada is being welcomed back to? I don't want a part of that. Question 6. If UN cares about genocide, why did UNESCO elect genocidal Sudan to leadership post? You remember for years the world worried about the genocide in Darfur, in Sudan. Now they're getting a key post at UNESCO. If UN teaches ethics, why was ex-UN General Assembly president arrested for $1.3 million bribery? That's right, the head of the UN General Assembly, under Ban Ki-moon. $1.3 million bribery scandal. Facing charges. Doesn't this sound like oil for food? Doesn't this sound like the same old UN over and over again? Question 8. If UN opposes human rights abuse, why did UNHRC elect Venezuela regime as a member? Venezuela, the country that crushes dissent, political dissent, the country that just recently tried to have its government kept in power by overturning the election, by stacking the court and then forcing the court to overturn the election results? Yeah, they're on the Human Rights Council. Question 9. Given warnings of genocide in Burundi, why did UN Human Rights Council elect the regime as a member? Well, because everyone's welcome at the UN. Rogue nations, dictators, Robert Mugabe given prime spot. He's just as good as any democratic leader. And question 10, if UN supports women's rights, why did UN Women Exec Board elect misoginistic Iran? All good questions, none of them answered, none of them asked, naturally, while Ban Ki-moon was there. Perhaps he'll get them in Montreal.